Born in Cleveland, Ohio on May 30th, 1951, Father Mark also lived in Niagara Falls, Canada, before moving with his family to Montclair, New Jersey.
My father called us all together and said, "We're going to New Jersey."
His parents chose St. Benedict's Prep in Newark for the education of their oldest child.
My dad said, "Well, you're going to St. Benedict's downtown." And again, we were pretty much new in town, so I didn't know what was what or who was what. And I said, "Well, Dad has a pretty good track record, so if that's what he says, that's where I'll go."
At St. Benedict's, he would continue to develop his love of science and of the theater, and would begin a relationship with the monastic community that would lead to his taking vows as a monk of the Benedictine Abbey of Newark in 1977.
And of course, never dreaming that I'd wind up becoming a member of the monastery that runs the school.
Before joining the monastery, Father Mark had attended the University of Notre Dame, where he majored in physics and pursued his love of the technical aspects of theater, specializing in lighting. He continued his education at Columbia University, where he finished a master's degree and was embarking on a PhD program when he decided it was time to join the Benedictine community. He loved and passed on a love of outdoor sports and ham radio. At St. Benedict's, Father Mark was a much beloved teacher of physics. He had come to the monastery soon after the reopening of St. Benedict's Prep and was instrumental in developing the freshman backpacking project and serving for years as the Big B.
Opportunities that I learned through scouting, and including the backpacking trips, of course.
He was also in charge of the overnight and the group system, all key elements of the St. Benedict's experience. He believed that teenage boys should do as much as possible for themselves, with adults acting as guides.
No adult should be doing anything that a youngster should be doing. And that, I suspect, is one of the things that I stole from the Boy Scouts, and certainly was from my scout leader.
He also served for many years as admissions director, helping shape the composition of the student body, and he held that if a boy was willing to work, he should be given a chance.
That they really are responsible and capable of being on their own, to make decisions, to follow up on decisions, maybe even most important, to take care for each other.
Father Mark loved both experiencing and studying nature, an attitude he tried to instill in the young people under his care. He was a devoted teacher who did not like to see students fail, and so made himself available for endless hours to help students.
That young people should be given as much as responsible as possible, and then to be held to the responsibility. So no other way to grow up, to learn anything, is to do it. And the sad news for us humans is that we learn the best from all the mistakes we make. Sometimes we get things right, we learn from them, but most of the time. And so it's important to make sure that young people know we're not so concerned about them making mistakes. We're more concerned about their not trying, because they're afraid, well, I might have made a mistake. Yeah.
He received several awards over the years. The St. Benedict's Prep Alumni Association bestowed on him its Distinguished Monk Teacher Award in 2006. In 2012, he was the recipient of the school's highest award, the Medal of St. Benedict's. From Abbot Melvin's homily at Father Mark's funeral, How early in his life did he become aware of who he is and who he was becoming? I turned to a personal letter he wrote to Abbot Ambrose in January 1970 during his freshman year, second semester at Notre Dame. He was 18 years old. This letter was written to advise the abbot that he was still interested, very much so, in becoming a priest and a scientist, and working at both at the same time. He was clear about himself, his desires, and his vocation very early. Here are Mark's words to the abbot. Quote, "First of all, I have wanted to be a priest ever since I was old enough to know about it.
That I wanted to be a priest. It seemed to be God wanted me to be a priest. And all my girlfriends knew that I wanted to be a priest. So it was just when I came back here and managed to have stayed happily.
I have also had a fantastic interest in science and have done well enough in the sciences to be able to continue through college with it. I remember during an 8th grade retreat with the Graymore priests or something in the upper New York state that I told their vocations director during the interview that I wanted to be a priest and a scientist. He told me he was very sorry. Didn't I know that oil and water didn't mix? Even then, I knew that he was wrong and figured that their mixing was perfect.
I knew when I was a little kid that I wanted to be a priest. As a little kid, I would pretend to have offering the Mass. I walked down to the town and got some glass vessels and got some orange juice. As a family, always at Sunday church, and I was always an altar boy, and my mom's sister was a religious sister. So I was surrounded, I guess you'd have to say. And I'm delighted. That was settled early in my career. What do you want to be when you grow up?
After leading a life devoted to the physical, intellectual, and spiritual formation of young men, Father Mark Payne died on Sunday, July 10th.
You need to realize that every single faculty member, student, maintenance man, they're all very important to the running of the place. Stay together, plan ahead, be courageous, do it again, do it again, do it again. Stay together. Yep.